everyone, and it's your girl Ty here with Stands for Together Individual Entertainment coming to you with the second day of Valentine special going on, as in February 2nd, 2023. All right, so in my first episode of February, which was the first day of February, I talked about a commonplace that was like our wedding veil from the movies. The wedding veil in the trilogy on Hallmark. Now, basically, we already got into the wedding veil and everything, but as a reminder, Valentine's is coming up in the next week or so, and therefore I thought maybe it was best to talk about some romantic movies going on. And so I need to let you guys know something. The Wedding Veil trilogy is the absolute amazing, I guess you could say, the first movies that you should be watching for Valentine's to get a little idea to what you might want to think about. I mean, it's absolutely amazing that the Wedding Veil trilogy just comes up a month before Valentine, and it just seems like that's perfect to watch. We're talking about like the movies that you guys should be watching in order to make this right. I mean, can you imagine Valentine without a little movie night or something like that? Now, the Wedding Veil trilogy can be a very special movie if you're planning to do a proposal, if you're planning to do a wedding, or anything in particular. But this is definitely the thought that counts about having a little romance in your life, finding love, and all that other stuff. But in my case, we're saying that every little detail has that spark. And of course, we all know that there's also flowers involved. And what better movie to watch that has a certain flower that is not just romantic, but also has a life lesson and has a little Disney romance, you might say? Because what movie do we know that has Disney, a flower, and has a life lesson? Why, Beauty and the Beast, of course. Beauty and the Beast is also another favorite that you guys should definitely watch for Valentine. I mean, in my case, I wish, and I'm serious, I wish every movie theater all over the country could do a Valentine movie-a-thon during the week or 2 weeks of February because of Valentine. They should show Beauty and the Beast. They should show oh my goodness, a couple other romance movies. I mean, Beauty and the Beast has always been my favorite. It's always been number one. And the reason Beauty and the Beast is also on the Valentine romance list is because, well, the top flower, a rose, of course. Roses are the absolute necessary item that you need for Valentine. You really do need something to show a little romance in your life. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love a good romance now and then? I mean, I just want to everyone to be happy and enjoy Valentine's the way that it should be. So we have the Wedding Veil trilogies, part one and two, Beauty and the Beast, and then the other ones that I am thinking about is okay. So all of you have some ideas about what your partner likes. Well, I think it's best if you ask them, like, when you guys are dating or together or whatever, you're supposed to get to know one another, right? You're supposed to be like, um, knowing like what their favorite movie is, what their favorite uh food are, and so forth and so forth. And yet, no one seems to know what better way to get to know your partner than to ask them what their favorite movie is, because maybe you want to surprise them of what watching their favorite movie from what they even told you about. I mean, come on, do you not see uh yourself just sitting on the couch or sitting at a movie theater and asking yourself, do you think I should show my partner's favorite romance movies? Well, I mean, technically, yeah. And Beauty and the Beast has a lot of related movies. Like, oh my goodness, there was this one zombie movie I forget about. Um, but I think it was I Heart Zombie or whatever it is. And then you also have the animated version of Romeo and Juliet, or in this case, it's called Nomeo and Juliet. And don't get me wrong, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is another romance movie, which is good. But Nomeo and Juliet has that je ne sais quoi, you might say. I know it's not in England, but hey, Romeo and Juliet is a funny little movie and stuff. Then you also have the Disney Channel original movie Zombies 1 through 3, which is also a good idea. The Notebook is also a good idea to do. There's like so many forbidden love stories out there. And then we also had Jennifer Lopez's movie Marry Me. I mean, I will admit, it's never easy of a movie like that, but in the end, we got Owen Wilson who's in the movie, and they got going on too. For those of you that are a part of the LGBTQ, maybe you want Brokeback Mountain going on. I mean, that's also another thing. And of course, Sophia Carson has a movie on Netflix called Purple Heart, which also she's landing into trouble. She marries a military guy. Let's just say it's not easy. Oh, and of course, you also have the romance musicals. There's 2 movies that show old and new version. West Side Story, of course, which is sort of like the modern day version of Romeo and Juliet. Who doesn't love a good musical? I mean, and if for those of you that are into the I guess say horror romance, you got Twilight, of course. Twilight, it's a good thing to see as well. Don't get me wrong, Twilight is a good one. Vampire and human in a way ish. Um, the other ones that I'm also thinking about is, well, of course, teenage movies. If you have a high school sweetheart or something, maybe you want to go with Aquamarine or Starstruck. Or if you are a dog lover, Lady and the Tramp, both old and new, is also a good idea. And then, of course, there's the Royal Princess Diaries uh 1 and 2. And from what I also hear, speaking of Princess Diaries, here's some news that all of you have been waiting for. They have just confirmed it, everyone. We're talking Princess Diaries 3. Yep, Princess Diaries 3 is coming as well. And for those of you that like a little fantasy romance, how about the young Anne Hathaway with Ella Enchanted? If you like Miley Cyrus, there's the last song. Then we also have The Princess Bride, another classic. And of course, we have the Cinderella stories. The first one with Hilary Duff, and then there's another the story with Selena Gomez. And of course, for those of you that were pretty young and had this hard time with parents, we have The Parent Trap. And for a little bit of mystery, maybe even like A Mask of Zorro, and then The Legend of Zorro. But there are so many good fantasy, good romance musicals, anything in particular that you might think about. Stardust is another one that goes on. And of course, if you're a big fan of Beauty and the Beast, once again, another related, except it's gender reveal. Penelope, which was born with a little pig face and everything. And of course, News Mia tried to get a picture of her. But course, there's that like lesson again. Never judge a book by its cover. And of course, if you're a fan of Tim Burton, like I said, you got Corpse Bride. I mean, that's always something. And I think in a way, it's always to have a little laughter now and then. Maybe with like, oh my goodness, there's always something that says comedy, but I'll let you be the judge that one. Oh, okay, maybe Legally Blonde, which of course we all know. Elle goes to law school. She falls in love with one of the professor's apprentices or whatever. And then there's 13 going on 30. Mamma Mia. We're talking some really old classics that a lot of you might remember in this case. And of course, like I said, if you like romantic movies with music, how about Step Up? Step Up, like the dance movies that you like to see. Do you like to dance? Do you like to get up and enjoy some movement now and then? I mean, that's always something. And of course, we have Raise Your Voice, which of course Hilary Duff was young back in the day, where she played this character who obeyed her parents after getting into a car accident with her brother. Unfortunately, the brother dies, and she goes off to this music school or whatever. She falls in love with this student, and so forth and so forth. But believe me. And of course, we wouldn't want to forget the ultimate movie romance that we remember, the Oscar-winning romantic movie Titanic with young Leonardo DiCaprio and young Kate Winslet. Of course, we all knew that back in the day it was a two-part VHS, which was videotape in English to all of you. But we all know that Titanic, it will never go away in our books with that kind of thing. And then, of course, we have Shakespeare in Love, which was also an Oscar winning. And then there was the Oscar winning The Shape of Water, which is another Beauty and the Beast relation, except she's a mute and the creature is a sea creature or whatever, and they fall in love and so forth and so forth. And of course, we have the Sound of Music, which we all know. The very young Julie Andrews falls in love with the captain or something like that. We also have Forrest Gump, which is another romance right there. I mean, who wouldn't want to forget Forrest Gump? I mean, he does everything he can to be noticed by a girl, falls in love, and then when all of a sudden they break up or have some time off, he goes on this crazy run, and well, you know how it is. And the other movie that young Leonardo DiCaprio was in, which was Romeo and Juliet in 1996 or something like that. So maybe, you might want that kind of Romeo and Juliet. And I really do believe that the other romance movies, like I said, there was another romance horror from Tim Burton, Edward Scissorhands, with young Johnny Depp, and of course the girl who, oh my goodness, I think she played in oh my goodness, I can't remember what other movie she played in, but I know I've seen her in other movies before. But of course Edward Scissorhands, and then we have young Drew. She has her talk show, Drew or whatever it is. I forget her last name, but she was in Charlie's Angel with the red hair. She played the stepdaughter, which is a Cinderella story related, called Ever After, which I think would be kind of nice to watch as well. That you do like fantasy once again. And then we also have, now for those of you who love a little thrill in your life or love to have that big time romance, maybe you would like to see how Stella got her groove back. And then we also got, oh my goodness, there's so much of a list going on here that I don't know. I mean, there's always that chance to where you like drama, you like Broadway, you like so many other things, but believe me, it's something to think about most of the time about what you would like to see. And I know it sounds silly, but believe me, I do wish, and I really do wish most of these movie theaters would actually consider a romance movie-a-thon for the next week or 2 weeks in honor of Valentine. And for those of you that likes iconic dances, maybe you would like Dirty Dancing. Dirty Dancing is another good one to see. I mean, that's a romantic musical right there. And who wouldn't want to forget that lift? Oh my god, the lift is absolutely amazing, you ask me. Another romantic musical, which is Beauty and the Beast related, The Phantom of the Opera. And that's also a good one right there. For those of you who like to sing along, Hairspray, Pitch Perfect. I mean, we're talking iconic musical romances here. And of course, the Pittsburgh iconic Gene Kelly singing in the rain. And then the Disney movies, of course, and Disney Channel original movies like High School Musical, and oh, maybe Rent is a good one too that you might like. I mean, who knows? I mean, you're all Disney fans. Maybe you like to watch a Disney movie on Valentine's. But I know for a fact that it's always something. And then we also have the Blue Lagoon, both old and new, of course. Blue Lagoon, where they're stranded on an island, if you get my drift. And then we also got, oh my goodness, I can definitely say that things are amazing in a lot of books here. But hey, I'm just saying, there's always a movie night, daytime movie, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can always have options. I'm just letting you know, options are good. Options are always good because if you guys are getting together, maybe you would like to have a stack of romantic DVDs and you guys can go through them and then you guys can decide on which ones you want to watch. I mean, it's always something to think about and it's always something to make worth your while, if you get my drift. Um, but hey, I'm pointing it out there that there's so many versions of Romeo and Juliet. There is a couple of versions of Phantom of the Opera. Uh, but hey, I'm if you don't believe me, you should definitely go onto Google and search for romantic movies for Valentine. I mean, it just seems like it's the opportunity of a lifetime if you get I mean it's never easy, but hey, it's something. And then there's the young Zachary Efron who played 17 again, of course. Then there's, of course, so many. Oh my God. What I'm doing, you see, since I can't remember everything, I'm kind of looking at a list of romantic movies here on Google. That's why I'm asking you to go on Google and maybe write down a list of which movies you want to get. Or if you have some romantic movies, maybe you want to pull those out. Oh, here's another one. Okay, so there is an animated movie that we all know and love. We have Howl's Moving Castle, which, of course, is a good one to watch. And then there's another Beauty and the Beast related with Vanessa Hudgens. It's called Beastly. And we are going to, enjoy every little moment. So basically, in my personal adversary, I mean, like I said, Beauty and the Beast is a good concept. I mean, you have so many Beauty and the Beast related stuff, especially these beautiful creature movie, Howl's Magic Castle from anime, and then you also have Fan of the Opera. Then you have so many versions of Romeo and Juliet, of course. I mean, I'm just saying, you get all these movies, and yet you keep forgetting, even I forget sometimes, that they are so good to watch. I mean, who knows? Maybe you want to keep the old ways going for a little bit and just like, I don't know. I mean, okay, let me ask you something. When was the last time you ever asked your girlfriend or wife or whoever in your life asked them what year they were born in? Because maybe you have something in common about that. Maybe like you two were born in the 90s and you want to watch something from the 90s to bring back your childhood a little bit. Maybe you would like to I don't know. I mean, the other thing you could ask is like, when's your birthday? I mean, it's always like best to ask him that, because if you have something planned for birthday or whatever, maybe you would like to bring out their favorite movie, because that's just absolutely something to think about. I mean, like I said so many times, my favorite movie has always, 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 always been a Beauty and the Beast related movie. No two ways about it. Because it just feels like they are always going to have that similar motion. I mean, okay, I'll get into that next episode some other time about Beauty and the Beast related movies. But for now, I'm just putting it out there about a list of movies that would be perfect for any kind of Valentine related thing going on. I mean, I will admit, it's not easy going through Valentine ideas, which I will get into in tomorrow's episode. But for now, this was just an idealistic thing about having ideas about movies, because that's all I can ever think about is like what movies would be perfect to watch or see on Valentine's. I mean, I'll have some ideas for you guys in my next episode, but right now it's just movie ideas for Valentine. So, hey, that's just me all of a sudden. But in the meantime, I want you to keep that in mind, okay? Keep this in mind about illicit romance movies and so forth and so forth. Because the next episode I might talk about like wanting to go what places you might want to go out to, what some items you might want to get for Valentine that you're planning on decorating or be a little romantic. I don't know what topic I might get into for my next Valentine topics, but hey, it's part of what, will come to a day. For now, just keep it simple and try to remember that Valentine's is coming up and you need to bring out the romance. Don't hold it back, people. Don't hold it back. So, in the meantime, this is Ty saying, show a little romance in your life. All right? So, I hope all of you enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see you next time. So, see ya. Bye.